the same situation. We feel very good about Jawan. Jawan is really, come along very well. So he's doing some stuff in a limited mode out of precautionary measures by us. And aside from that, very similar position battles like we've been talking about throughout camp, but open to questions.
Could you give a little update on Cam McCormick and Jake Breland?
Jake Breland is good to go. He's done everything. Cam McCormick is taken part in practice, but not full go just yet. Okay. Maybe a little bit behind schedule, but not by much. I feel optimistic about him because he's doing all the stuff that he needs to do to get ready. But Jake has been good to go. Jake has done a great job. Really good player. Has had a really good camp.
How big is that for you to have him back, or at least Jake now, for Auburn this week?
Really good football players. They've seen a lot of football, taken a lot of reps. Really big parts of our offense as well. Really good team leaders. So those guys are really important.
Has the organizational depth chart become a depth chart yet?
That's a great question. And I will say no. Not quite yet. I mean, some things are shaking themselves out and they look like they're closer to what they have been, but we're not ready to put that out there just quite yet. We always, whenever we do have a final one, we always meet with our players first out of respect for the entire organization and the players themselves. But we're getting closer, and a lot of those battles have really proven to be beneficial. Guys have gotten better, guys have gotten more detailed, guys have really improved at their craft. So, but we're pretty close. As soon as we do, we'll certainly get that to you.
I know Sunday the focus goes to Auburn. What's the rest of today, tomorrow, Sunday, heading into Monday and kind of the start of game week?
Well, we really switched the focus. Tuesday was kind of a half and half day on us and on Auburn. And Wednesday really kind of, when you look at the film, we're more 75, 80%. The last 2 days we've been, one of them was a walkthrough day. Today was more of our Fast Friday day. But we're in full game mode. And tomorrow will be as well, as will Sunday. So we're in it. It's game week for us. And usually for game one, game week is a typical 10, 11 days. And so that's what we're in.
Even if Jawan is somewhat limited at the moment, and even for next week, precautionary-wise, down to 7 healthy guys with him at that receiver position, how has that been impacted over the last week with Micah and JR being out?
Well, you got to develop other guys, and a lot of guys have gotten reps throughout the course of spring ball. I know they put a lot of time in the summer, and it shows because of the tremendous improvement that they've had, but practice hasn't skipped a beat. Still have a rotation. Younger guys are playing more, obviously. They got to pick up the slack. And, it is what it is. The ball's still going to be placed down and teed up and kicked off at 6:44, I believe it is. So the guys have done a really good job responding to their opportunities, and they practice really, really well.
What's Brady done that's made that safety battle so interesting and so close since last year? I mean, Nick's picking started every game last year for you at safety. In a position battle now.
I just think it's the development of football players. Guys, they know their craft better. They're making calls. They're more decisive. They understand the angles. They understand their help. They understand how the whole thing comes together better, right? Like where your help is. Where you're supposed to have leverage. Where do you have someone with leverage so you could take on a tackle inside out, take on a ball carrier inside out. Those things are important. Level of just playing fast. I think all those guys have increased their ability to play fast by understanding what we're trying to do. So I just believe, we all believe that if guys are playing well, you have to promote them and give them the opportunity to compete for playing time. And that's what's going on here. And it's a positive thing. It's a positive thing, and I always reiterate that to the players. It's sometimes, during this time, everybody wants to just be named the guy. Hey, that would be great, but if that was the case, we probably don't have enough competition on our roster. So it's coming along well.
Brady felt like the scheme under Andy Avalos is better fit for him. Do you see that change from previous schemes?
Well, I think more than anything is that, he's really just taken accountability and ownership of the position. And it shows in his preparation, and it shows in how he practices, his approach to the game. But that goes for everybody, because Nick has had a great camp, right, and he's doing really, really well. So I just think the way Andy connects the back end with the front, the front seven is really unique. It's very detailed, and I think our guys are really catching on to that and improving.
Auburn named Bo Nix their quarterback. What is it preparing for somebody who doesn't have any college football film?
Well, I've seen him play in high school. He's a great football player now, and he does it with his arm. He does it with his feet. As a competitor, he's one of those guys that he fights for every single inch on the field. Watching him in high school, tremendous command of the offense, the field general, so tremendous amount of respect for him as a player. And he's a great system fit. So, we have to be prepared for a guy playing great football.
You talked in LA about how what Kevin does defensively is just different than what you guys see in the Pac-12 usually. You're very familiar with him. How much stress is this going to put on Jake in particular by way of alternating between 3 and 4 man fronts, and whether that buck's standing up and rolling safeties down and all the things that he does? How much stress does that put on your center?
Well, I think anytime a defense is diverse like that, and then they have the caliber of players, there's always, right, there's always pressure that comes with that. There's always a level of difficulty, both mentally and physically. Tremendous amount of confidence in Jake. I mean, Jake has seen it all. And I think when we have seen, the amount of different defenses we've seen throughout the course of the last, especially him now, he's logged, I don't know how many starts, but he's seen a lot. You just have to prepare them for a lot. And so it's on us to make sure they have that preparation. We feel strong about our preparation. I think Jake understands that having experience does not equal preparation, so he's spending an extraordinary amount of time digging deep into the film logs and watching tape of Auburn, this year, past years. So you just got to really prepare. You got to do a great job preparing your guys.
You talk about having seen Nix in high school. I assume maybe you even saw him a few years back, and I assume you've seen him live and on tape. I mean, you've seen probably a few camps around too.
I haven't seen him live,
Yeah,
but there's so much. When you watch the elite quarterbacks in the country, I think just about every team gets to watch them all at some point in time or another. And I've watched them, and I know of his father extremely well. I was coaching down in South Florida when he was coaching down there as well, and know the history of the family. And so I know the level, the pedigree of that family and the way that they take pride in being just relentless competitors and great performers. So he was a great player. So I'm sure that there's a reason they have a lot of confidence in him.
Is there any use to have your players watch his high school stuff, or I mean, you just kind of figure he's playing against guys that aren't quite the caliber that you're going to see him going against in college?
No, I think anytime, if you don't have college film on someone, it's always valuable to watch any type of footage on what type of player they are, and on how well they run, how well they throw, and the part that stands out, he's not going to disappoint on film. He could throw it, he could run it, and just what I was impressed with is just watching his commands of the offense, the way he could just keep the sticks moving with both, with his feet and with his arm.
What about a guy like Johnny Johnson? Where have you seen him kind of step up? Kind of an up and down career so far, but where have you seen him kind of develop and improve this year?
Yeah, I'm fired up for him because of the type of camp that he's had. And he's one of those guys that, he kind of says enough is enough. It's my time, and he's shown it in the way he's approached his craft and the way he's practiced and the way he's come up with big plays in practice. I'm excited for him. Like you said, he's been through a lot. We all have our ups and downs, but we like sticking by our guys. We've stuck by him. He knows it. He feels it, and he's ready. He's ready to have his kind of year.
Did you mean to wear Kobe Bryant's shoes on his birthday today?
Did what? I'm sorry.
Do you mean to wear Kobe Bryant's shoes on his birthday today?
Man, honestly, at the times I wake up, I couldn't tell you the sock, the shoe. I'm just glad they match. Honestly, usually I really can't tell, but these are kind of my favorite shoes. So
with Dallas in particular, I know he's still competing and good start to be the sixth guy. But how big is this for him personally? He's talked about how he was recruited there, and obviously he played where you were at, but he didn't get to play in that game.
Right.
So how big is that for him? I know it's big for you, but how big is it for him personally, do you think?
I think it's big for him. I think it's big for all our guys. On top of that, it's game one. It's just an opportunity on a big stage. Fired up for Dallas because he has worked hard and he's put himself in a great situation. He's taken on the competing role the right kind of way, and it's the only way. I mean, it's the only way we could get the best out of our guys is to do so, and he's attacked it well. We go back a little ways, Dallas and I, but the focus is solely on what's going on with him here, and the opportunity that we have as a team with him as part of the team. We try to keep within those bounds and not let it, filter into other things. But I hear what you're saying. Obviously there's a lot of familiarity with staffs and with players that have been recruited on both sides.
When you're as much of a tactician of your position as you have been, I mean, you've played phenomenal defensive lines before, but is this as high a matchup of both the caliber of your guys up front and their guys up front, where you could have the number one tackle and number one offensive guard locking horns like 50, 60 times in a game?
Yeah, I don't know about exactly what the rankings are. I don't recall seeing a defensive line as good as this in a long, long time. And again, just because of all the things that come with it. I mean, aside from the fact that they're massive human beings, they're just very explosive and they're very, very technically sound. I mean, they understand blocking schemes, they understand down blocks, they understand reach blocks, they understand double teams on gap schemes versus double teams on zone schemes. They get it. and they play off each other really well. But it's really not just them. I mean, the way those safeties and linebackers play, and as aggressive as they all make each other better. So collectively, that defense and I'd be glad to talk about their offense too. But that defense is it's about as impressive as you'll see. And I know you've watched film. I know a bunch of you guys have watched film. It's impressive. It's impressive. It's a kind of opportunity and challenge that you look forward to.
What about that offense you mentioned? Because your defensive line against their offensive line.
They have 5 guys that, no doubt. Those guys have started every single game together. And you watch, to me, is to watch the bowl game where those guys are just hitting on all cylinders and they're blowing people off the ball. They're knocking people back because they are big, powerful, explosive guys. They control the line of scrimmage extremely well. They give the quarterback a lot of time to throw the ball. Look at all those deep shots, in the bowl game where they were due to just great protection, and they pounded the ball. I mean, they're obviously known for their tempo and how well they run the quarterback sometimes, but a lot of it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with them coming off the ball and controlling their opponents. So, again, that's one of the things that makes them a really good team is both sides of the line of scrimmage are really impressive.
You ever face a duo of corners quite as fast? I mean, they're skilled, but as fast as their 2 outside guys. You got a son of Nigerian Olympians and a 10-1 guy on the other side. That's pretty unparalleled.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. But the thing is, I don't see them as track athletes. To me, those guys are football players. They have a track background. They've made the transition. I mean, you see those guys come up there and throw their bodies around and make tackles. You see them speed, turn out of stuff, and then transition. I mean, they come out of their hips, and they come out and they make something happen. They make plays on the ball. They track the ball really well. They make it really hard. You don't see guys coming open against them. You see a lot of contested balls. You see guys that are very disciplined and well coached. So, those guys are impressive.